In a sudden and alarming turn of events, the Wagner Private Military Company, PMC, and the Russian armed forces find themselves embroiled in a deadly conflict. Reports indicate that Russian forces launched strikes on Wagner PMC camps, resulting in numerous casualties. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the founder of the Wagner Group, has responded vehemently, declaring war on the Russian Ministry of Defense. As the situation remains fluid and information continues to emerge, the implications of this crisis are potentially far-reaching for both Russia and the international community. According to channels associated with the Wagner PMC, Russian forces initiated missile attacks on their camps, leading to the loss of several lives. Prigozhin, speaking on behalf of the Wagner PMC, condemned the attack as an atrocity and vowed to respond in kind. His message, which called for justice and restoration of order within the military, declared war on the Russian Ministry of Defense. Prigozhin urged his comrades to remain calm and avoid resistance, while promising swift retribution against any opposition, including checkpoints and airborne threats. In contrast to Prigozhin's claims, the Russian Ministry of Defense dismissed all reports of the alleged strike on Wagner PMC camps as misinformation and an informational provocation. The ministry released a statement asserting that the messages and video footage circulating on social networks were not based in reality. However, an audio message from Prigozhin later surfaced, claiming that the Minister of Defense orchestrated the operation covertly, using artillerymen and helicopter pilots to target the Wagner PMC. The founder of the Wagner PMC, Prigozhin, accused the Russian government of launching the invasion of Ukraine based on falsehoods. He emphasized that the current events were not a military coup but rather a march of justice. Prigozhin declared that the actions of the Wagner PMC posed no threat to the Russian armed forces and called for support from all true patriots of Russia to join their cause. He specifically targeted Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Chief of General Staff Valery Gerasimov, expressing his intent to hold them accountable for their alleged betrayal. As tensions escalated, reports emerged of clashes between Russian Wagner forces and the military. These reports were accompanied by claims of a coup attempt by the Wagner PMC leadership. However, the Russian Ministry of Defense denied the existence of a coup, reiterating that the country's governmental and security institutions would continue to function as before. Furthermore, the ministry emphasized that there was no immediate threat to the Russian nuclear command and control system. In response to Prigozhin's declarations, the National Anti-Terrorist Committee of Russia initiated a criminal case against him for inciting armed rebellion. The committee demanded that Prigozhin cease his illegal actions, stating that his allegations against the Russian military were baseless. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin engaged in consultations with various parties to address the escalating conflict between Prigozhin and the Ministry of Defense. Amidst the crisis, reports indicated that the Russian capital, Moscow, activated Plan Fortress. This plan mobilizes law enforcement and paramilitary forces under various government ministries to defend the city against external threats. The activation of Plan Fortress highlights the seriousness of the situation and the government's determination to protect the capital from any potential escalation of violence. The evolving Wagner PMC crisis in Russia has created a highly volatile situation, with the founder of the PMC accusing the Russian Ministry of Defense of grave offenses and calling for a march of justice. The government denies the allegations, deeming them baseless provocations. As tensions rise and conflicting narratives emerge, the involvement of President Putin and the activation of Plan Fortress underscore the gravity of the situation. The outcome of this crisis will undoubtedly have significant implications for Russia's internal stability and its relations with the international community.